Hey everyone, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well because today we're talking about music, and today we're actually talking about a live concert. I thought I'd look at some of the live albums I have on DVD and some of the live albums I listen to on vinyl and CD and kind of give some reviews of those. Some of my favorite, some of my not so favorite. Today we're going to look at Real Big Fish. The Show Must Go Off. It's part of the series, The Show Must Go Off. Real Big Fish live at the House of Blues. Here is the DVD case. You'll note it works on your PS2. PS3, 4, 5 owners, I don't know, go take a hike. But if you got a PS2, you're set. This is a live concert, so it's encoded for all regions, which is good to know for people watching this from elsewhere. Um, that said, who are Real Big Fish? That sounds really deep. Who are Real Big Fish? They're possibly one of the most well-known third wave ska bands, sometimes one of the most maligned third wave ska bands because of how well-known they are. They do real uppity, real hook laden, real hooky lines. They're known for hits like Beer for their cover of Take On Me as featured in Basketball. People look to their song Where Have You Been saying there's no horns, what have they done? They've got a lot of hits. Alternative Baby, we're going to talk about a lot of their hits actually on this. Um, but that's who Real Big Fish are, California-based ska band. And who's in the band at this time? Real Big Fish are one of those bands that have kind of consistently had a rotating cast of members, some longtime members that are featured on this DVD, and some short-term members as well. So you have Aaron Barrett, who's the kind of lead vocalist, lead guitar player. He's always been in the band, real cool image, real cool guy. Scott Kaufenstein, one of my favorite members of the group, no longer in the group, having some struggles of his own, but does a great job with trumpet, backup vocals. I love his voice and guitar as well on this. You have Tyler Jones, who sadly passed away recently on trumpet as well. Dan Reagan, no longer in the band. Unless so, Aaron Barrett's the only one still in the band. Everyone else I'm going to mention is no longer in their band. Dan Reagan on trombone, a longtime member as well. Matt Wong on bass. People loved him on bass. He's a solid player. And Carlos de la Garza. This is actually his last performance, not just last recorded performance, last performance with the band. That's really cool to have on I say tape. This is recorded digitally by Kung Fu Films. I don't know if I said that. Kung Fu Films, Show Must Go Off. This is the eighth DVD in that series. They do a lot of cool live punk bands. They have a really cool Dance Hall Crashers one if you can find that. That's who's in the band. So what tracks do you got on here? Well, you got so Real Big Fish at this time. This is recorded during their tour to promote or Cheer Up, their third album. So 2003, they've previously done Turn the Radio Off. That was a big hit for them. Why Do They Rock So Hard had another really cool string of hits, and this is the third album, which commercially Jive Records didn't really know what to do with them. You know, melodic, more emotional pop punk was on the rise, and while that is actually on the album, Cheer Up, there is some of that. There's a lot of really great ska rock songs as well that they just didn't know how to promote the band properly, in my opinion. So we have Alternative Baby, Join the Club, Band the Tube Top. The album kind of starts out a little rough. You know, the band still find their footing. I don't know if it's to do with monitors or how it's recorded or something like that. By the time you get to Cheer Up and Thank You for Not Moshing, we're getting there. We're getting there. Then you go to Scott's a Dork. Suckers, that's one of my favorite tracks, as well as Cheer Up. Cheer Up's my favorite. Suckers is one of my other favorites from the album, Cheer Up itself. Everything Sucks, Suburban Rhythm, which is when I get to the shtick bit. Real Big Fish live, if you've ever seen them or seen any of their other or heard their live albums, watched some of their live concerts, you'll know they have a lot of giggles and goofs and gaffs and shticks they do on stage. They like to play around with each other. I feel this recording overdoes it, and it's kind of sloppy. You do have a lot of those jokes that they're known for, and some of the ones you see, if, like I didn't see them on this tour. The first time I saw them was on the tour preceding this one in 2004. Um, you see some of those nuggets that they develop into bits, but they just do all of it on here, and it just feels like too much. It's to the point where you're like, okay, let's get on with it. Let's play the music, and it's not even that kind of thing where it's like not funny and then it becomes funny because of how much they're doing it. It does that, and then it's back to not funny, and you're like, okay, let's get on with it, guys. So Suburban Rhythm, or SR, is one of those tracks that's known. It's a really short song, like a minute and a half. So they'll do it in a bunch of repeated styles. So they have that on there. She Has a Girlfriend Now. Again, Tyler Jones. Really does a lot of yelling and screaming on this recording. Not sure why, but she has a girlfriend now. Traditionally has a femme backup vocalist. They don't do it on this. Usually, it's been Scott, who's a great vocalist, doing the backups when someone with that vocal range isn't available. Tyler Jones just yells the backups for this song and a number of others, and it really is a big detractor. Good Thing, which is just a solid, good rock tune. I like that one a lot. The Setup, which is from Why Do They Rock So Hard. I like that one a lot. Where Have You Been? Which again, they're known. That's one of the tracks people are like. This is just a melodic rock song. There's no horns. Why was this pushed heavily as the single? I think the band knows it because even at this point, the album is brand new, but they're still switching it up. They do like a nice reggae breakdown, which they do for a number of their tracks, but they do it for this one, and it's this one. That's a good recording on here. Um, then we get to their version of Beer on here, which is not great. The guitar solo is way off. And I think the band knows it too. There's a couple times on here where the band just gets sloppy, and you're like, okay, guys. The last 4 or 5 songs on here, I think, do pick up, which is a shame that you have to get so far into the album. But you do get I'll Never Be in Valerie, All I Want Is More, and Down in Flames. That's a great 4 track run there. I think it's probably the best on this concert. Then you finish off with Sellout and Take On Me, because why wouldn't you? So I got 20 tunes on here representing all 3 of the albums up to that point. Nothing super special, but you do get some fan favorites, so they don't play live too much anymore. And then on the DVD, you get some extras. One thing I did notice while rewatching this DVD is now 20 years old. I mean, it's 19 years old in like 11 months as of this recording. It's almost 20 years old exactly. And um, it looks like it. There used to be a time you'd watch a DVD and be like, oh, this is as great as a live recording can get. Um, Not so much anymore. You can tell this is an old recording. You got band commentary, which is kind of fun. Backstage footage, which I prefer over commentary. Photo gallery, that seems kind of redundant. Videos in a way are a photo gallery, just a lot of photos with some audio over top. Trailers and web access. I did not explore the web access, so who knows what's on there, but I checked out the other stuff. But even like the menus feel slow and clunky compared to well, Blu-rays are weird because Blu-rays have a lot of back-end stuff going on. I find usually. But that said, this is an okay release. Like, it's barely a 3 out of 5. In terms of live footage and live concerts the band has, they do have another 2009 live album that's better. But what I would recommend, they have a live album called Our Live Album is Better Than Your Live Album. The album itself is great, but it comes with a DVD, a live DVD, that sounds like it might have a bit of an overdub going on, but generally I like the track list on that more. I like the way they do their shtick and their jokes and their goofs and gaffs on that one a lot more. That said, I think Real Big Fish live at the House of Blues from the Show Must Go Off series from Kung Fu Films. If you're already in love with the band and you've never heard this one or seen it, I think it's really cool. You got some members that are no longer with the band featured in here, as well as some tracks that don't always make the set list anymore. But otherwise, I would recommend their 2 other live releases. I believe the 2009 album is just called Live, Real Big Fish Live. I could be wrong on that, but that one is great as well. Um, but generally speaking, this is for people that already know that they like Real Big Fish, as well as people that can put up with a lot of that shtick, either because it'll bring them down a trip on memory lane, or they just really enjoy real bad stand-up comedy. So, barely a 3 out of 5. Real Big Fish, Show Must Go Off, live at the House of Blues. And I'm excited to take a look at some other live concert DVDs and kind of been exploring those a lot lately. I've got a nice stack that I'm going through. So all that said, I hope you had fun today and I hope you have fun tomorrow, and I'll catch you guys later.